You are listening to the first episode of the JWILLY Show. Jason Williford joins me every week to give you locker room access. The JWILLY Show is sponsored by Moji Masala. Spice up your quarantine recipes with small batch single dish Indian spice packets for fresh, authentic, and homemade Indian food. Use code 2019CHAMPS for 20% discount. Offer is good till supplies last. Jason Williford joins me to give you 30 minutes of locker room access to the UVA basketball team. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, Mark. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How's Kwamina and the kids?
They're doing well, doing well. We're going a little stir crazy. Been in here for 6 weeks.
Yep.
That's to be expected.
Absolutely.
But she's working. She's actually swamped, so she's got more work than I do right now.
How's her health?
She's doing very well. Appreciate you asking. She's
Good to hear.
She's doing well. Just trying to stay safe and healthy, and I've actually gone on a little bit of a diet, trying to eat right and slim down myself.
You look a little slimmer.
I'm trying, Mark. I'm trying. I got the beard going, but besides the beard, I've dropped a few lbs.
We've been talking about that for like 3 or 4 years, so glad to see it.
It took a while. I guess this is the silver lining in being home. I cut out the soda and changed my diet.
Well, we're glad to hear that. So while COVID-19 is interrupting normal everyday life, you've taken on a new role at home. How are the boys? How are the boys enjoying the new teacher? How are you enjoying teaching?
Teacher dad has been a handful, to say the least. So my mother-in-law's here with us. My mother-in-law's got my oldest, who's easy. He does his work, he listens. That's Austin. Cameron, on the other hand, my 10-year-old, I get him every day. Besides listening when we do PE, I've almost had to strangle him every day for the last 6 weeks. So I've got much respect for our teachers. They're underappreciated, and I got a ton of respect for what they do.
Are there screams coming from one bedroom or one room to another that people can hear throughout the neighborhood?
It's between that. My wife's got conference calls. She's telling us to be quiet because I'm yelling at him because he's not listening. He's up and down the stairs. I mean, he's a firecracker, to say the least.
Yeah, but it's tough, right, for a kid who's probably used to having lots of energy and being outside all the time and running around and practicing basketball and other sports.
And I know it's an adjustment for him. And I read something where teachers were saying, just be there for him, love on him. Whenever we get back to whatever normal is, that they'll do their part and he'll be fine. But it's a little bit of boredom, missing his classmates, missing his teachers, that kind of regimen that he's been accustomed to. And so it's been an adjustment for him. And I got to remember that. And he is 10. So, I got to let him go burn off steam from time to time. Luckily, we got a hoop in the driveway, so we do a lot of ball handling and shooting. So we're getting a little work in, too.
I imagine that's part of PE class.
Yes. And I live on a hill. So I incorporate bike sprints and regular sprints up the hill, about 40, 50 yards up the hill. So we've been getting those in too. Little do they know they're going to be in big time shape when this is all said and done.
They really are.
Yeah.
They're going to be way ahead of the game.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
All right, let's get into the season. What were the expectations prior to the year starting?
Prior to this year's?
Yep.
I mean, every year our expectations are, we want to compete for an ACC title. We want a regular season and tournament, and we want to get to the dance. We knew we had a lot to overcome with the departure of those 4 guys. We had to try to replace a lot of scoring and defensive physicality with Jack and Dre's versatility, and obviously both Ty and Kyle's ability to shoot the ball. So we knew we were going to miss a lot. And early on, we knew we had to defend at a high level. And I thought we did that. And then we were just hoping guys would step up offensively and grow into their roles. But we knew defense was going to be the catalyst But we just had to take it one practice, one game at a time, and let the chips fall where they may.
Were you guys really nervous at one point when when you weren't sure if Mamadi was going to come back or not? It wasn't until the last possible minute when he declared he was going to come back to school?
Yeah, he kept us up at night. But I think it was good for him to go through that process. I think it's good for those guys to get a sense of what teams are looking for and get some feedback. And for him, and he was at workouts and he was nonstop. He actually lost some weight, so I thought that was a bad thing because he was he was traveling and doing so much and working out constantly that he lost some weight. And he needs to be at a certain weight in order to be more effective at his position. But he kept us on our toes, and ultimately we wanted what was best for him and his family. And I think he made the right decision coming back after getting the feedback and going through the process.
You should know your guy Dougie Fresh predicted a second place ACC finish. Even when things are rocky, he never wavered.
He's a true Wahoo.
He definitely is. But, there was, what were you guys thinking after you lost 4 out of 5 in the middle of the season?
Honestly, we just were plugging away, Mark, to be honest. It was control what you can control. In a lot of those games, besides the Purdue game, we were in games. We had leads. We just had to figure out how to score and make plays offensively, but continue to do what we were doing defensively. So somebody had to make a shot. We had to hit a big shot. Somebody had to make a play down the stretch when we needed it offensively. And I thought Kihei and Mamadi at times, and then Thomas Wolder-Tenzai went on a roll there where he was making shots, especially on the road. And we just kind of fed off of those guys improving their games offensively, along with the emergence of Jay Huff. I thought Jay really stepped his game up. He became really aggressive. But it got dicey, obviously, in the middle of the year. But I think they all collectively got together. If I'm not mistaken, there was a team meeting, and they decided, hey, if we're going to go out, we're going to go out swinging. And let's just be the best we can be the next game, the next practice. And they knew it started on defense. That's just who we are, what our culture is. But then guys, they relaxed offensively. I think early on, guys felt that they had to make up for Ty and Kyle and DeAndre, their offense. You're not going to be those dudes. Those dudes are different animals. Just be the best version of you. Right. And I think guys settled into who they were.
There were so many close games, 1 possession, 2 possession games. And my argument about that is when you have a system that really works, clearly, mm-hmm. You're going to be on the positive side of those outcomes.
Yeah, and I think specifically for the returners, we were in some tight games last year. We were obviously going on the run we made those last 3, but we were in tight ball games. Mm-hmm. And so when you grow up in the system, in, like you say, in our culture, you kind of just you know what to expect, and you know that we're gonna control what we can control, and if you can limit turnovers, if you can rebound the basketball and get good shots, you'll win more than you'll lose. And those 4 guys, Kihei, Mamadi, Jay, and Braxton in particular, were the catalysts for keeping us composed and calm in those tight games, and were the reason most of the time the outcomes were the way they were.
Then you string together 8 straight wins. What was the feeling like going into the ACC tournament? Were you guys excited and elated and thinking, wow, we might be able to do this again?
No doubt. I think I spoke on it earlier. I think those guys relaxed and settled into who they were. believed that they could play with anybody. And we were excited about going into the ACC tournament and you know, after that, going into the NCAA tournament. I think dudes just, there was no pressure. They felt at ease, especially on offense. I think we relaxed offensively, and that was what was exciting about where we were headed, but also the frustration about not being able to go do it. Because you know, you wanted to at least go out and see if you could do it again.
Teams had to be nervous if they were going to get UVA in the tournament.
I would think so, but I think they just know who they're gonna go up against, and it's not gonna be easy. We're gonna wear you out. You're gonna earn everything, and I think that wears on teams, and our mentality. We want to be the last man standing. And Mike Curtis instills that. I mean, that's part of what he does with how he trains these guys.
Yep. Almost every player gives him so much credit.
Yeah.
For their individual success, which ultimately helps the team's success.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah. So because of UVA's recent success and you being the associate head coach, have there been schools that have offered you jobs, head coaching jobs recently?
There have been a couple that have reached out, and it's got to be the right situation for me, Mark, and a lot goes into that. Obviously, my wife, my family, and it's UVA. I mean, it's got to be something very good to pull me away from here. I love this place. I bleed the orange and blue. I'm not sure if I'm all the way in on those new logos, but hey, that's above my pay grade, so I'm going to wear whatever they give me. But it'd have to be the right job. And there's some jobs that make sense, and I will entertain when the time is right.
Sure. Is there another dream job you have besides UVA?
Ooh,
you can think of?
No, there isn't anything besides UVA. What else is there?
All right. The next year's squad is looking extremely talented. Right. Great incoming class. Next year, guys will have a lot of experience. Hauser comes back.
Yep.
Hauser's able to play.
Yep.
Where do you see guys fitting in, and who gets playing time? I'm not going to ask you who starts because I don't want to put that pressure on you, and I don't want to put that pressure on kids.
Yeah, that's a tough one because we haven't been with them in the preseason. I mean, in the postseason, you know. So, and we probably won't be with them in the summer. Fingers crossed, we'll have them in the fall. Obviously, Kihei and Jay are probably penciled in. That's probably a safe bet. Hauser's phenomenal offensively. You know, he's going to have to work defensively, and he knows that. And then we'll figure out where we go from there. We got some good options. Obviously, Thomas was good starting down the stretch. I told you he went on a roll making shots on the road. So we get him back. Morcell, we expect him to improve after going through the fire. It was a little bit of baptism by fire for him this first year. I expect Poppy to give us some physicality on the interior. I expect the kid McCoy to be a pleasant surprise. He really works his butt off, and he's a hard worker. And the longer I've been coaching, I know that when kids put in the work, the reward is always there. They reap the benefits of hard work, and he's probably one of the hardest working guys on the team. So I expect him to earn significantly more playing time than Statman. You know, we want to see improvement from all of those guys that are returning, and those guys got a ton of experience. I mean, it was good for them, other than McCoy. And then Cedric, the red shirt, he'll give us some length and athleticism on the interior. And I hope I'm not forgetting any of those returners. I think that's it for the returners. And then obviously the three new incoming guys with Reese Beekman and Abdul Rahim, Jabri, and Carson McCorkle. We just got to see where they are, and they got to get up to speed defensively. I think that's always the biggest adjustment for guys, being able to defend and be continuous, like Coach Bennett likes to say on defense. They got to stay continuous. But those guys, in their own right, those three new guys are really good. Jabri can score. Reese is a leader. He leads. Hell, Reese is probably one of the most decorated kids, 4-time state champ, player of the year in Louisiana. He's really good. He'll come in and give us some added depth at point guard. And then Carson McCorkle can stretch the floor and shoot it. And I think people will be surprised with his bounce on the way he gets off the floor. But the three of them are going to have to learn. They're going to have to learn how to be continuous defensively and the speed of the game and physicality of it. Jabri can score it at all three levels. So we got some competition for minutes and playing time, and looking forward to, knock on wood, getting them back, seeing those guys and seeing what we actually have.
Exciting next year. So much potential. I'm looking. I want to be invited to a practice.
Well, hey, you can come anytime. You know that. I know we'll be offensively. We'll be better. I put money on that. Defensively, we still got some work to do to fill those holes that I think both Braxton and Mamadi gave us. Those dudes were studs defensively. They could guard anybody, and they rebounded the ball at a high level. So we're going to have to, by committee, defend and rebound, and I think that'll be the difference.
The transfer portal is exploding. I think it's like nearly 300 schools have players transferring out.
Wow. You're only 350, right? Total.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Almost. It's almost every school, right?
Yeah.
What's your take on why?
I just think transfer. I mean, I think has been a trend the last few years with kids transferring. I don't know if that's a product of where we are right now. We want everything so damn fast, and kids don't trust the process all the time. So I think it's been trending that way. I mean, you see kids jumping high school to high school, AAU program to AAU program. So it inevitably was going to happen at our level. And so you see that. Now, there's situations where kids transfers are good, coaching change. It's just a bad situation for a kid. But I think far too often, whenever kids go through a little bit of adversity, they want the easy way out. And I think that's probably the explosion of the transfers. But everybody has them. I mean, you know, we've had transfers in the past. And sometimes it's the right reason. Kids leave for the right reasons. Sometimes we don't want to see kids go, but they have to ultimately do what's right for them and their family. And we actually used the portal this year. We got a transfer. The kid Trey Murphy. We were excited about him, and you know, we've had a few transfers and they worked out for us. Anthony Gill was one. He was really good for us. Sam Hauser, we expect him to be good for us, and we're excited about Trey Murphy. So it can also be a good thing.
Yep. How good is Trey Murphy? What are his strengths? What are areas he has to improve?
Yeah, he's going to be good, Mark. I think he's. I looked at him. Funny, I looked at him coming out of high school. At the time, he was 6'5", and he was rail thin though. I knew a family member, and I got a call, and they said, "You gotta go look at him. He really shoots the ball." And at the time, they thought he'd be like another Cal guy, move, shoot, fly off screens, really good in that regard. but he was like 6'5", maybe 160 at the time. He was a rail. And I just didn't think he physically was ready to do it in the ACC. He goes to Rice, great school, good program, and he grows. He's 6'8" now, 200 pounds. So that changes the dynamic of who he is. I think he's now more of a tweener at that size. He can play on the perimeter. He's still got those guard skills. He can shoot it, but I think he can be, I've said this to our staff, you know, he'll be as good as he wants to be, depending on how hard he works. But there's some DeAndre, Braxton Key versatility in his skill set because of that size now. Now he's got to attack the weight room with Coach Curtis, put on some weight. Ideally, like to get him up to another 15, maybe 20 pounds, and keep what he has from a skill set standpoint. But he ultimately picked us. He had some really good schools recruiting him. He picked us because he wanted to be better defensively and make it to the next level. And he thought, if in order to get to the next level, I got to learn how to defend, and I want to be in a system that defends and puts an emphasis on that. His offense will take care of itself. We're excited about him moving forward.
Are you guys considering any other transfers?
No, we're actually that does it for us with the 2020s. That class, we're out of scholarships. We're at our full allotment of scholarships.
So, how challenging is recruiting right now for you, with not being able to have visits either where you guys can go visit it, watch a kid play, or where a kid can take a visit to campus?
Yeah, that's the hard part right now. I obviously, listen, we're going through a crazy time in the world, but just for our job, specifically for my job, I really enjoy getting out on the road, going to tournaments, watching kids, having kids visit grounds. I enjoy showing off UVA and JPJ, and so it's been frustrating in that regard. But I mean, it's a handicap that we all have and we're all going through. But part of being a coach is getting in the gym and watching them and seeing improvements from year to year. And this is typically the time you like to see those guys. It's also the time when you get to put your eyes on some younger kids, the classes below what you're currently recruiting. And so that's been difficult. Watching a ton of film. I get tired of watching film, to be perfectly honest, because you want to see it with your own eyes. You want to see the speed and the true size, and those things are hard to gauge on film. You want to see competition, who they're going up against. Is it good comp? Again, those are. You watch film, it's hard, but I do think the Zoom calls, the virtual tours that you're able to do, the FaceTiming, has become more prevalent, and that's a good thing because they get to put faces now with names, and it's not just texting calls. It's you get to see them face to face and talk to their parents face to face. So I actually think it'll be interesting moving forward. I think recruiting will be a little more of this, especially for kids that can't always get to you, that are a little further away than say driving distance. You can do more of this stuff, which has been pretty cool.
Right. Nothing can substitute for an on-campus visit.
No.
And I remember when Ty went on his unofficial visit, and we got to JPJ, and you met us, and you walk us into JPJ, and you look up and you see that Jumbotron, and you play the highlights of UVA winning the ACC tournament.
Yeah.
I was sold.
No, it doesn't get better than that. I mean, so imagine, all right, when Ty came, it was the ACC tournament highlights. We get to show national championship highlights now, and we can't even do that. So, that's been a long time coming. It'd be nice to show some kids those national championship highlights.
So no one's seen those yet? A recruit's never seen that?
A few have. We had a few kids, but you know, in due time, we'll get to show. Hey, listen, we're still reigning champs, by the way. We're 2 years running.
Yeah, that's exactly. We're getting a T-shirt. Locker Room Access is getting a T-shirt. Actually, we already have one out.
Really?
Justin had it on the other day.
There you go.
Yeah. And how does winning the national championship, how does that help her with recruitment now that you guys are 2-time national champions? It's so good that you didn't have to play a second year.
No, I know. How about that? It's helped. We're probably not going to ever recruit the one and dones, the McDonald's All-Americans. I shouldn't say we won't. If it's the right kid, obviously we will. The kid's got to be a fit for us and our culture. But I think what it's done is it's solidified the hard work that we've done over the years, guys that kind of laid the foundation to get to where we are. And I think it's made it easier when we call kids and their parents, we're recognizable. They know Virginia now. And so it's not, you're not selling, hey, we're trying to build something we want to do. Hey, we're trying to sustain now. And listen, kids are 18, 17, 18, when we start recruiting them, 16, 17, 18. Over the last 6, 7 years, we've been pretty damn good. And so they know Virginia, they know who we are. And so it kind of just solidifies that. And they want to hear from us, and they want us to be part of their recruitment. So that's fun. You still got to go beat out some really good programs to get these guys. But I think it's allowed us to get our foot in the door a little easier.
Absolutely. Now, when I read articles that mention the top schools, top teams, top coaches, Virginia's in those conversations. Virginia's in those articles. Tony Bennett's name is in that article too.
No,
which is
that's cool. That's always fun to see and look, and that's where I want the program to always be, and that's why I'm here. And it's going to be hard for me to leave this place because I want to see us. I want to see us with the big boys year in and year out.
Yep. One last question for you.
I'm all ears.
The G League kids, high school seniors jumping to the G League.
Yep.
A few of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is that going to impact college basketball?
I don't know if that impacts it at all. I think the game is very healthy. There are going to always be a few kids that can rightfully go make the jump. I think there's some kids that could have made the NBA jump right away. Obviously, that rule needs to change. So if kids need to go this route until that rule is changed, there'll be a handful. Listen, one of the best kids, I recruited the hell out of him, and I love him. Cade Cunningham that's going to Oklahoma State. He didn't go to the G League, and I'm pretty sure they were trying to get him to go to the G League. I love that kid. He would have been great here. You got Zaire Williams, who just committed to Stanford, another 5-star kid. You got Greg Brown, I think just today or recently committed to Texas over the G League. So you got kids that are 5 stars, that are highly touted, that aren't going to go G League because they want to go to college. Even if it's just a year or two, they want to try their hand in college, and they want the college experience. And there's nothing like going to college. So the NCAA game's fine, our game's fine. We just got to get back to school. We got to get back on the floor when all of this is done. And I pray that it's done soon. But there's always going to be a few kids that want to test and jump, and good for them. They're probably good enough, but there's going to be more than enough kids that go to college, and our game will thrive.
Good to know. All right, getting back to your home life. Are you cooking? Are you cooking as well as teaching?
Am I cooking?
Yeah.
Man, I cook eggs, bacon, and I can get on the grill. Outside of that, that's it.
So does that mean you're responsible for breakfast and the pre-meals?
I do some breakfast. My mother-in-law's here, so it's been a blessing that she's been with us because she's actually helped me with my new diet and cooking for me.
Stay away from that pork.
I can't, so listen, that's my one. I'm eating fruits and vegetables, drinking water. I've cut out the soda. I cannot give my bacon and sausage I gotta have in the morning with breakfast.
You know there's substitutes for pork.
No, Mark, there's nothing like bacon and sausage in the morning with breakfast.
All right, well, I'm glad you're doing the water. I'm glad you're slimming it down.
There you go.
I'm glad you sound like, I hope you're running the hills with the kids.
So I do. I run Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, but it's an easy run, Mark. It's a run jog for a mile. Right.
You're gonna build up, continues. You gotta start somewhere, right?
I don't want to go longer than that. 1 mile, jog, run. That's all I want to do.
All right.
I mean, jog, walk.
Check out my man, Sean T, T25, home workout. Have you right in no time.
Listen, I don't want to be cut up and buff like Harold Dean and Jamal Robinson and them dudes. I just want to be like toned, in shape, and stay at a certain weight.
That's what I'm talking about. Sean T, that's my man right now.
All right.
I'm rocking with him.
All right.
So is Kwamina happy you're home, or is she like trying to find and discover a vaccine somewhere so you can say, you got to go, my man. You can't be here every day.
I think she's happy I'm home.
Okay.
She'd be thrilled if the boys were back in school, though. So we get to spend, listen, we get to spend more time. I've eaten dinner every night with them for the last 6 weeks.
Oh, good.
That's the most I've eaten dinner with my family in 11 years being here at UVA. So this has been an awesome restart kind of, if there's a silver lining in all of this, family time has been huge. And I don't know if she's ready to get rid of me yet. She just tells me I talk too loud when I'm talking on Zoom and on the phone. So I got to, when she's working, I got to whisper, I guess.
Well, Jay, we appreciate you opening the picture over your right shoulder for the people that can see this.
Right,
the national championship.
Yeah.
Right. It's framed, and I guess you're going to put it up real soon.
I got to put it up. I just took it out. This is the kid.
For this show.
Can you see it? Yeah, for this show. Yeah. But this is the kids' room. This is where they do all their schoolwork during the day. So I've kind of hauled this and taken it away from them. And I can't use my wife's office. So this is the next best place. Her office is her office. We all got to stay out of there.
All right. Always a pleasure having you as my partner. We're going to continue the JWILLY Show weekly. And we want to continue having people listen to you and your insight. And this is Locker Room Access, giving you inside information on the UVA basketball team. See you next time.
Appreciate to see you next week.